We got some breaking news here. Do you want to have a guess on Mike Matheson, the decision from the league?
No games.
Too many.
How many do you say?
0 games.
Jonas?
Game?
Fine. A fine.
2 games.
Oh, come on.
Mike Matheson suspended 2 games for interference in unsportsmanlike conduct. What? That's like I'm reading it live.
That's a butcher job by the player safety. The butcher job.
So I don't know what the interference is. Peterson had the puck when
No
he
kidding.
hit him. And unsportsmanlike conduct, obviously that means when they're deeming it that it was a body slam or a choke slam, whatever you want to call it.
Just take hitting out of the game. Take hitting out of the game. This is a butcher job by player safety and George Peros. Is he the one that decides this? He should be embarrassed.
Yeah.
That's a joke.
Peros would be the top dog down there. I mean, that's...
Take hitting out of the game. You can't hit anymore, so don't do it.
The unsportsmanlike conduct, I want to get an explanation on that.
No kidding.
Because how do you get suspended for unsportsmanlike conduct?
Plus interference. There's no interference there. He had the puck.
Yeah.
This is turning into like a joke.
Well, again, if they argued that like we didn't like the can opener or whatever, or if we thought it was aggressive, whatever, I don't know. But unsportsmanlike conduct is such an open-ended explanation. Like, again, where do you draw the line on that?
Unsportsmanlike conduct is telling the referee to go to hell.
That's what I'm saying.
That's unsportsmanlike conduct.
Like, how is that play an unsportsmanlike conduct?
It's not.
I think it's exactly like Jeff said. I just think he was small. He's on him, and he's just like, get off of me. Like, just.
Yeah, I hit you. You floated up into the boards, and now it's like, get off me. You went on the ground. It's embarrassing. It's a high-profile young rookie who's probably going to win Rookie of the Year. He's a fantastic player. If that was a fourth-line player for the Florida Panthers or the Vancouver Canucks, we're not even talking about this.
Or if Peterson just gets up. But that's the problem with this explanation. If Peterson gets up and skates off, is it still unsportsmanlike?
The player that's hit every time affects the outcome. You can lie down and act like you were out. As soon as you get hit from behind, you could just throw your arms out and lie motionless. That means the other player is in big trouble. If you get up, not a big deal. So if you're in a playoff series and a big-time player comes at you and hits you from behind, just lie motionless on the ice. Then you know that guy's going to be out for multiple games. This is ridiculous. It's embarrassing.
Well, but that's not. I mean, he's got a concussion. You can play it up as much as you want on the ice. But
I don't care what he has, Brian.
But he legitimately has it, though. It's not like they're not pulling him from the games this week to get Mike Matheson suspended. He's legitimately injured.
I get it.
But
I get it. I love the player. He's one of my favorite players to watch already early into his career.
It's a great story. I get it in Vancouver why they're rattled, because now this kid is out of the lineup, and let's be honest, it's going to be a long season regardless of the way they've started. This is the beacon of hope. It's Peterson, it's Besser, a couple other guys in the system.
Let
Quinn
me ask
Hughes.
you something. When you hit somebody, if you're very strong, and you hit somebody that's not as strong, and you hit them in the upper body, what's the motion that's going to happen? The lower body of the other player is going to become airborne because you're pinned against the boards and there's nowhere else to go. So the following motion after that, what's going to happen? The player's going to hit the ground. It's very simple.
I think
this isn't
I
a
get
barbaric.
The impression, like they're also applying like that this was a premeditated attack.
But you know what? Do you know what I don't like? Man. Brad Marchand. How many weeks ago?
Their name.
Who did he punch? I can't remember. It was Washington Capitals. Was it?
Well, it was Lars Eller.
No, it was Johansson.
How is that not?
How is that not 2 games? And this is 2 games.
Exactly.
He punches the guy like
under the spectrum of unsportsmanlike conduct.
Didn't he? Wasn't it Lars Eller?
Just popped him.
Yeah, he beat the living piss out of him.
So you can do that and get no suspension, but this is 2 games.
Well, that's where my beef
that's
is.
Hard.
Is using unsportsmanlike conduct as an explanation. That to me is a remarkable cop-out and way too open-ended, because you're right. This guy, it was a hit, and it was aggressive, man. Like Matheson, I think in the moment knew, I'm way stronger than this guy, and I'm going to send him a message. I don't personally have a problem with sending messages, so to speak, within the confines of the game, and I believe that this was right on the border, but I'm okay with it. But Marchand just being like, I'm picking a fight now because we're getting smoked, and I'm going to punch you multiple times even though you don't want to fight, that's not unsportsmanlike conduct. This is where, regardless of how you feel about the play and the suspension in the end, I think the issue that the NHL has is that no one truly knows what the reaction is going to be, what the penalty is going to be.
It's the same with the NFL. Like last
The
night with
goalposts are moving all the time.
Vontez Perfect with Antonio Brown.
Antonio Brown.
I don't know what's going to happen.
That should have been he should have been ejected potentially.
Right.
For it was like a
What, the
forearm
elbow
to the
that
head.
he threw?
Yeah,
And it was like the same one he did before.
yeah.
Well, it
and there's a
wasn't even-
repeat offender. The biggest goon in the league is
Yeah.
perfect. So anyway, I mean, and in Vancouver, I don't know. This isn't going to change anything. You know, this isn't going to stop the next time they play. People in Vancouver are going to be calling for Matheson's head. We talked with Ray in the previous hour, and Ray's in Vancouver. He lives in Vancouver. He's like, they're going crazy out here.
It would almost be good if they didn't know if the player was hurt and just had to evaluate from that.
And I think when anything comes to something involved with Vancouver, Ray is a good voice because he lives there, he knows the pulse, and he also doesn't care what happens. And he said the same thing. This is ridiculous. Flat out ridiculous.
Well, he's gone for 2 games.
Yeah.
I mean, there's nothing.
Just,
I
I told
guess
you,
he can
Brian,
appeal,
take hitting
but-
out of the game. Don't even bother doing it. Because once you do it, you're just going to get suspended.
I'm just worried about the slippery slope with other plays within the confines of the game.
He just talked about it.
Yeah, no, I understand, but that kind of stuff happens all the
Somebody grabbed
time.
somebody and beat the living hell out of them, but no suspension.
Well, put it this way.
But this hit is 2 games?
Remember against Nashville when Bufflin grabbed 2 guys and just ragdolled them and threw them all over the ice?
That's 2 games now.
That's
2
probably
games.
unsportsmanlike conduct. That was like it was a
No,
win.
it's 2 games.
The game wasn't
Marchand
happening.
2
licked
games.
somebody twice.
Yeah,
or 3
exactly.
times.
Marchand licked somebody in the face twice in the same playoff.
It's
Nothing.
okay.
That's not
There's no
unsportsmanlike conduct.
unsportsmanlike.
Unsportsmanlike conduct.
It's a hard job. Like, we should say that. It's hard. Like, all these plays are different, but the consistency or the inconsistency is
That's the problem. I think that
brutal.
I think they also fall victim to the echo chamber on Twitter, on social media, people yelling and screaming out of a big Canadian city. You know, Vancouver holds power in the league. They're allowed. They're a big Canadian hockey market. And Mike Matheson is not a guy on a marquee anywhere in North America. And Pedersen is this young stud kid. It just, I don't know. The play itself, I'm not going to get caught up on it one way or the other. I'm just more concerned about the potential for this being a slippery slope. And where do you draw the line on unsportsmanlike conduct and on what is too aggressive or too strong? And for a long, long time, teams would not put a guy of Peterson's status or stature in the lineup. At this age, they'd say, you've got to play another year or 2 in Europe or in the American League. We can't put you in because someone's going to grab you and beat the hell out of you.
well. And to Jeff's point, if that was Bo Horvat, could he do that?
No.
No, it's because he's
He's a stocky little guy.
he's small. I saw him at the draft when he got drafted at the table where he's talking. He was like skinnier than me, and granted, that's like a couple years ago, but like, I don't know. If 6'4", is he 6'4", Mike Matheson? He's big,
He's about
He's a big dude.
6'2", 205. You know,
but like,
but he's not a guy I consider like, you know, a ruthless
But
player.
compared to
Or,
There's no such
Peter-
thing as
yeah,
a
no, I know
ruthless
that.
player anymore.
well,
None.
Tom Wilson has been labeled that, right? Tom Wilson is the boogeyman in the league.
Okay, who's 1B? Can you think of one? No.
Well, Marchand should be considered in that company with the way he plays, in my opinion.
Marchand is 1B.
Well, in
He's
terms of
5'8".
Yeah, but the way he plays is what I'm saying. Like that gutless elbow he threw on, was it Johansson last year? I still believe that should have been way more than 5 games.
You know what? When I looked at the lineup for the other team, a guy like Brad Marchand, talented, is he a pain in the ass? But I would never think, keep your head up when that guy's on the ice.
Right. Well, and it
He
speaks
was a
to the
guy I would
times.
look at and say, if he has the puck, knock his block off. He's not Tom Wilson 1B.
Well, I can't give you an answer on the fly. I
Yeah,
don't
you don't
know.
have a 1B. Marchand is
well,
not it.
Lucic, I don't know. Like, but we're talking about different
'Cause
characteristics.
it doesn't happen anymore.
Yeah, in many ways, it doesn't happen.
You imagine having this conversation in 1991? You could throw out 25 guys.
I know, but we can't play that game
No,
anymore.
I know.